What's good? Welcome in and thank you for listening to the Honolulu Cheese Podcast. I'm Jose. Joining me, as always, my co-hosts Ryan and Moran. Fellas, what's the deal? This is the episode I didn't plan on doing, boys. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I'm not in a good mood today. I haven't been in a good mood since Saturday night. But how you guys feeling?
I'm in a terrible mood. It's not getting easier, honestly. It's not.
Oh, you
I
guys.
know Moran's feeling jolly over there.
That's all you guys got to say.
Moran, what are you wearing right now, bro?
My new minted Washington Commander shirt.
He's a POS, bro. I can't believe sometimes
Bro.
that I share blood with this guy.
Wait, hold on.
We share DNA, him and I.
Honestly, imagine being a fan of another team. You're literally flying the colors behind your head and you're wearing a Commander shirt. Shame on you, bro. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, don't turn this around.
Shame on you, bro.
That's not what we're doing here.
Hey, listen, you didn't hear us rooting for who you were playing against. I'll tell you that.
You should have.
You know what I'm saying? No, we shouldn't have. I'll never do that. I root for the Lions. We took care of business against you guys. We didn't need somebody else to do it.
Yeah,
Why do you
I know.
have so much hate in your heart?
It's crazy. The Lions had nobody to play on their bye week, so they beat themselves.
Okay. It's been saving that for 4 days. Why?
Yeah. It's been tough, man. It's been tough. It's I cannot believe that game happened Saturday and played out the way it played out. I really can't. Like,
I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, 100%. I literally thought you guys had no chance of losing, but I've never in my life wanted to say I was wrong more than today, and God damn it, I was wrong.
Well, yeah,
I'm a
you
rock-
put that reverse juju on us. I called it last week.
Yeah. St. Brown can score touchdowns. He can stand on his head, but he sure doesn't stand on business during the playoffs.
Oh my god, bro. He's the guy that we're pointing out of all people. He's the player that you
Yeah.
mentioned first.
Yeah. Empty stats.
why are they empty?
You guys were getting cooked all game. Washington wasn't worried about you guys.
You're right, bro. Hey, what can I say? Hats off to the Commanders, bro. Like, fuck, they killed us. Like, it is what it is, man. They literally, bro. We got outcoached. We got outplayed. I got Ben Johnson, planning trips to Chicago during halftime. Like,
Assigning his coaching staff prior to the game.
yo, we're gonna get into all that, man. But yeah, it was a rough few days, man. And I promise we weren't ducking. We wanted to get on sooner. We wanted to discuss the game, but the schedules just weren't aligning. I know Moran's gonna give me, for those watching on YouTube, you saw it the yeah, okay, buddy. But realistically, it's his fault we couldn't record sooner. If I'm being 100% honest with
Here
you,
we go.
but hey, it is what it is.
Oh, can we talk about that a little bit? Yesterday,
Wait,
we're
wait,
trying
wait.
to.
Wait, before you do, can I do something real quick?
Oh boy, here we go.
Please.
Hey, you know the Lions won again, bitch.
Yeah, put a
No,
stop to that.
stop.
Enough of
We don't
that.
deserve it. We don't deserve it.
But me, Jose, and Moran were having a little group call yesterday, trying to figure out, okay, when are we gonna sit down and record the next episode? Blah blah blah. Moran goes silent for like a minute, and I'm just talking to Jose. I'm like, did Moran hang up? What happened? Moran texts me on WhatsApp saying, "Hold on, I'm choking." He comes back. His voice is all raspy. He's gasping for air. And I actually got worried about this guy.
I just wanted to see how the Lions felt.
Wow, bro. All right,
my
man.
God.
That's what this kind of episode is gonna be today, bro. Just
Yeah,
pun
it's
after
going to be a
pun.
hard listen for some of our Lions fans, bro.
Oh my god, bro.
I do need 2 minutes, though, for real, if I could.
Okay, you got
All right.
something to share?
Yeah, you
I
may.
do.
Okay.
Do we have, like, an acapella beat or anything?
No. Sorry, unfortunately, we don't.
That's definitely a before we hit record question you just asked.
Honestly,
okay.
bro. Our
No problem.
soundboard's not that lit. You know what I mean?
No
We're
problem.
getting there.
Commanders hit the turf, ready for the fight. Lions tried to war, but got silenced in the night. Washington squad, they were bringing the thunder. Lions defense cracked, made you start to wonder. Touchdowns raining down, Commanders on a roll. Lions hopes dashed, couldn't find their goal. Detroit left the field with their heads hanging low. Commanders took the show. Commanders took the win and put on a show. Thank you.
Do you feel good about yourself?
Oh, I feel great. I feel wonderful.
I know you've been praying on our downfall, bro. I know you have been praying on it. It's, it hurts.
Bro,
it hurts that you
since-
got the sasatisfaction, bro.
Since we're like doing this right now, let's just get like the fan reactions out of the way from the rest of the NFC North, who is like just in jubilation over the fact that the Lions lost. Hang on. No, I let you do your dumb little poem. You can give me a second.
It wasn't a poem. It was bars. Get it right.
Yeah, whatever. The Packers and Vikings fans that I'm seeing are celebrating our downfall as if they won something. Like, does this help you guys feel better about losing to us twice this year?
Can I tell you why?
And how many of the last 7 games, Mito, against us?
Can I
how
tell
many?
you why?
Tell the fans.
We can pull up the season. We can pull up the all-time history because you guys can beat us 20 years in a row, and you still
go all the way
won't
back
touch
to
us.
the Acme Packing Company in 1936. That's helpful.
Hey, maybe they would have stopped the Commanders.
Yeah, maybe 6 or 7, by the way.
No, the reason this is happening the way it is, and I don't care if you guys disagree with me or try to say that it didn't happen, but every single fan looked ahead past the Commanders, every radio station, every TV show. There was Lions fans selling their ticket telling me, oh, we'll be back for the NFC Championship. No big deal. I might as well make money when I can. For a team that's never, ever accomplished anything, to act like it's so easy was funny.
I have something to say about that.
Hey, this just in. Lions mascot Rory requested a trade.
Deuces, Rory. Listen, I was on this podcast last week before the game saying the Commanders are no pushover. That line is too high. We're not just going to walk all over them. It's going to be a competitive game. I said all of this. Pull the tape. Was I thinking that we would lose? No. I said it. I think we'd win, but I thought it'd be tough. Did I think we'd get blown out like that? Not in a million years. Honestly, not in a million years, especially after what we saw against the Vikings. So what I will agree with Mito on, just one thing, is that our fans, being Lions fans, need to shut the hell up. Honestly. Like, this cockiness that came over us once the playoffs started and once we beat the Vikings was overkill. And just to act like we're going to march past Washington like it's nothing and plan for the Eagles or the Rams was nonsense. Like, this is the playoffs. And Mito's right. We hadn't done anything at that point. So what are you guys planning for next week for?
I think if you guys would have had Aiden Hutchinson, you probably would have won the coin toss.
All right, dude.
All right, now I'm done. All right,
I can't do this for an hour.
Bro, he
I
literally
can't.
like wrote these down over the weekend, and he just made sure to get them all out of the way. He could resist.
But listen, man.
asshole.
Honestly, he is an asshole. But
the biggest.
bro, Saturday night, it was the Washington Commanders came out and just punched us in the mouth, bro. They were the better team every facet of the game. Literally, like it was crazy to see, man. It really was, bro. And on top of that, just to go along with that, we didn't do ourselves any favors, bro. Like, those turnovers were so bad. The play calling was so bad. Amik going down second play of the game was just terrible. You know what I mean? The defense is already in shambles. And I'm not blaming injuries. I'm not going to come up here and say that. I'm not going to pull the card. Oh, we had so many guys on IR. I don't want to hear it, right? We went 15-2 with all those guys on IR, all the defensive starters out. It wasn't easy all year, and we still made it there. So I'm not going to pull that card and blame it on the injuries. I'm not going to do it. Was it unfortunate that we didn't have our players out there? Yes, but I still truly believe that we just were not prepared for that game Saturday night. And I don't know if it's the Lions drinking their own Kool-Aid as a lot of the fans were in this city or what, but it showed on the field, bro. Cliff Kingsbury was out coaching Aaron Glenn every step of the way. Every step of the way.
I think it's fair to say if This game was played in like week 15. You guys win by 30. I don't. The part where you say the Commanders outplayed you guys, I don't agree with that. I think you guys just were so uncharacteristic. Everything was weird. And I told you guys a couple weeks ago, when Montgomery comes back, the offense is going to be weird. It's going to look different. And I don't know what it was. I don't understand the going away from Gibbs on 3rd and 1 when he's averaging 10. I don't like the guy literally couldn't be stopped. You have Barry Sanders on the sideline salivating over what he's watching, and they just go away from him. That's why like we got a lot of views on that YouTube video about Montgomery. It's probably because people thought I was asinine, but like when I say something, I mean it, and I truly think that Montgomery is going to hurt this team long term, and I think we saw a glimpse of it on Saturday. I think he's going to stunt Gibbs's growth, and it sucks. It sucks because I think Gibbs is one of the best running backs in the NFL, and I gave you guys a compliment. I can do that now. You guys aren't playing this week, but I don't know. Your offense was just very weird, and I'll say this in a PG way, but I think Ben Johnson was trying to put his forearm on the table to show who he is and to show his worth. It was obvious by the play calling. It was obvious by the gimmicky plays, even the plays that went well. The gimmick play to ASB, getting 15 yards. Like, you literally didn't have to do that. Turn around and give Gibbs the ball. It's 10 yards. I thought there was a lot going on for no reason.
So I've never agreed that Monty needs to take a complete back seat, but I was asking myself when that game started, why is Monty starting the game? Like, you have Gibbs playing at an all-world level, and Monty took every touch on that drive. And then the game gets away from you, push comes to shove, and Gibbs leaves that game with 14 carries? That can't happen. Like, don't go away from a guy who they literally could not stop. Even when he got the ball in the first half, it was 10 yards a pop. And then you get to 3rd and 1, you're up 7-3, and you inexplicably pass the ball. This reminded me so much of the Seahawks on the goal line with Marshawn Lynch playing at an all-pro level, and you pass the ball for what? And I know what the Lions are doing, and Dan Campbell said this too. We passed it because we were going to rush it on 4th down, and he even said to the press after the game, I would make the same decision again. But that was the beginning of our downfall, because Amon-Ra slips, the pass coverage or the pass blocking breaks down, Goff inexplicably loses the ball, and it was the perfect storm. I can't believe you're putting your team in a spot like that for what? This is not a good run defense. You have
also,
I don't believe it.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but why are you thinking about 4th and 1 when your guy's averaging 10 yards a carry? That shows me, like, what is Campbell talking about? Like, I get it. You go for it on 4th and 1, but why are you thinking about that?
We do this all the time where our 3rd down predicates on the fact that we know we're going for it on 4th if we don't get it.
Okay. But Dan Campbell is usually a killer, correct? He has a killer mentality. Why the hell would I be thinking about 4th and 1 when they cannot stop me? If you're thinking about 4th and 1, you already lost the 3rd down play, in my opinion. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's a prime example of us getting too cute.
Yeah, I hated the play call. I couldn't believe it, bro.
Horrendous.
I couldn't believe it. As soon as they came out, I'm like, why are we going empty? And then the fumble, bro. It was terrible, man. And it just sucks because you know what? Like, the offense didn't play terribly. Obviously, the turnovers were awful, and we're going to touch on that. But when we had the ball, like, we were able to move it on them. I just don't understand why. Why are you going away from the run? Why? I don't understand it.
Ben Johnson trying to prove his worth.
Well,
yeah, TJ Lang mentioned that.
Yeah,
actually.
You can look back to most losses we've had in the past 2 years are because we've gotten away from the run. We talked about this after the Tampa Bay game in week 2 of this year. That was 4 months ago. And I'm not going to sit here and act like we know X's and O's better than Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell. But what I will say is that when you have a running back playing at that level, or even Monty's playing at a good level. Like, run the ball. This is a run first team with play action to boot. That's what we've been this entire past 3 or 4 years. Just why are you getting cute? It doesn't make any sense. So imagine if we go up 14-3 right there instead of fumbling and being down 10-7. That is a monumental swing in the game.
It's game over.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the end right there.
It was literally the beginning of the end. And then it changes everything, right? Because then they go up 10-7, and then you get the pick six, and it's dude, it flipped the entire game on its head. And again, caps off to the Washington Commanders. They came in here and they did exactly what they were supposed to do. It pained me being in the stadium, seeing one of my favorite Michigan players of all time, Mikey Sainristil, dagger us before the halftime, then again on the trick play that Ben Johnson called, which I don't care about the trick plays so much, bro, but that one in particular, I just don't understand the timing of it on a gotta have it drive. Like, I know everyone like this, and this has been a big thing on socials, like, oh, you can't pick and choose when you like them and when you don't. But I don't. In that situation, I don't want Jamison Williams throwing the ball. I don't want that, bro. And I can't believe that he called it. And shame on JMO for throwing the ball, but I can't blame him. He's not a quarterback. He's not. You know what I mean?
Receivers love throwing that ball.
Yeah, it was just you put JMO in a position to fail, and it failed. And it sucks because that was the drive of the season. Like, to go down and score a touchdown there was a gotta have it. And it didn't happen, man.
The thing, like, okay, you guys were, like, kind of coming at me yesterday when I mentioned I didn't even like the reverse flick to ASB because it worked. But I'm only saying that because of how easy it was for you guys to move the ball. They weren't needed. None of it was needed. It just, I don't know, man. I think it was one of the worst games called for a team that has as good as an offense as you guys.
I'm sorry, real quick. I would go as far as to say that it was the Lions' worst game collectively, probably in 2 years. Like, collectively. Like, we've seen the Lions lose. We've seen one of the units have a bad game, whether it was offense or defense, but we've never seen all of it at the same time. At least I don't remember when. We probably have. I can't remember in the last 2 years having a game that bad where the defense was bad, the offense was bad, special teams was null and void. I mean, Jack Fox punted it one time. Jake Bates kicked one field goal towards the end of the game. Like, I just don't remember when all three phases of the game were just not complementary to each other. And that's what we pride ourselves on, is complementary football, and it just was not there Saturday, bro.
So this is something that we've heard from a lot of Packers fans, including Mito, over the year, is that they didn't outplay us, we beat ourselves. And I personally hate that saying.
No, hold
because
on.
hang on, let me finish. Because it takes away from what the other team did. However, in this case, in this game that we're talking about with the Lions and Commanders, the Lions legit beat themselves on offense, right? We lost this game because we turned the ball over 5 times. You could even say 4. The last one was whatever. We're out of the game, right? But every one of those turnovers was its own little dagger to end the game for us. The pick six, the fumble, like when Goff is overthrowing a wide open Tim Patrick and not even taking the check down that's available to him and just airmailing it, we all secretly knew that the game was over at that point. Because Goff doesn't recover from games like this mid-game. You know? Like, he gets in this kind of mode where it's like, oh, damn, it's that kind of game. You felt it during the Houston game. You felt it versus Baltimore 2 years ago. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I like Jared Goff, and I'm going to stand by him, and that's my quarterback. But you can't be having games like that in the playoffs. You just can't. Like, that wasn't even a play call situation. That wasn't even a Ben Johnson thing. That's you just missing a throw that led to 7 points for them. And you got rocked, which probably rattled you even more the rest of the game. That was a hard-ass hit that he took. I don't think he's ever gotten hit that hard.
Yeah, he got smoked. And he played a terrible game. We'll just call it what it is, right? Outside of Ben Johnson and the play calling, going away from Gibbs, the untimely trick play for JMO, that all was compounded by the fact that Jared Goff was not playing well. He just wasn't. The pick six was a killer. But then even still after that, we still managed to fight back, fight back, fight back. He has JMO wide open in the end zone, man. All you have to do is just give him a good ball, and he throws it, a bad ball, right to Mikey Sainer still, and then we're down 10 still at halftime, man. Like, that's such a big swing in momentum and mentality and the way that you have to play coming out of the half. Like, we could not get out of our own way. We would chip, and go back. Chip, go back. You know, we could never get it going. We could never stack the W's.
Really quick before we keep talking about the actual game.
Of course.
What was worse as a Lions fan? This loss to Washington or last year versus San Fran?
This year to Washington, 100%.
100% agree.
Not even close.
Because last year you guys were just happy to be there. And that's not taking a shot at you. There was high expectations this year.
Bro, last year, we're coming off of 2 playoff wins. That's one. And we played well enough to win against San Fran. I think that's like the biggest takeaway. Like, we should have won, and it hurts being that close to the Super Bowl and not coming away.
Same thing. You guys going away from the run.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, you have Gibbs playing at an all-world level. I don't understand it. They couldn't stop him. We went into the game knowing that this is the 28th ranked run defense.
30th.
Was it the 30th? I thought it was 28th.
30th.
Bottom 5. Great. Like, I don't know.
And
why is Goff throwing 40 times? I don't know.
And they had a bottom either 5 or 6 offensive line. And Jaden Daniels was chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that part you can chalk up to injuries, though, because we legit have nobody on the line who can get there.
Does not matter.
Bro, we all knew that when Aleem McNeil went down for the year, like, that to me was the injury nail in the coffin.
Not letting you do that.
Why?
Because you guys put pressure on Minnesota all day. That's not why you guys didn't have pressure.
Yeah, because we had a good game plan, and Sam Darnold stinks.
So you had the players that have the ability to get there.
Yes, but this is why we die against mobile quarterbacks. This is why Josh Allen also marched up and down the field versus us, because we can't do it. We don't have the guys, and we don't have the coach for it, I guess, because Aaron Glenn could never figure that out.
Jose, correct me wrong. Was Jaden Daniels really that mobile on Saturday?
No, so that was a point that I was going to get to, and we might as well just get to it now. That was like the one spot in the defense that I was impressed with. Jaden Daniels had 16 carries for 51 yards. Nothing special. His longest was 15. His longest was 15.
No, I didn't. But it's not that he's rushing all over the place. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's extending the play.
Right. He's extending the play, and frankly, like, our secondary played like ass. Our safeties had the worst collective game they've had all year. Kirby Joseph did not have a good game on Saturday. Absolutely not. I love that guy, but I'm not going to give him a pass. He took bad angles. He was not himself. He just wasn't there. And Terran Arnold, like, oh man, I got a lot to say about that guy right now.
Yeah, change his name to Hay, because McLaren was saying, "Move it, football head."
Okay. Hey Arnold reference, I love it. But
What a
man,
show.
that 4th and 2 where he didn't contain Jaden Daniels, which is your entire job on that play, it's just everything went wrong, bro. I don't get it.
He like dove into the line, not even dove into the line. He like
he crashed.
He crashed for no reason.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, man. But listen, I mean, collectively, like I said, the defense just didn't play well. So, like, I thought we did a decent enough job on Jaden Daniels. He made the plays that needed to be made, and kudos to him. But I mean, dude, let's talk about it. I mean, Brian Robinson, 77 yards on 15 attempts, 2 touchdowns. I think he was averaging like 7-8 yards a clip. Eckler, 6 carries for 47 yards, another 8 yards a clip. I mean, we could not stop the run. So on top of hurting ourselves, we let them rush for 150 yards, man. You know, and it's just losing football, dude. It really is. And then we do dial up a blitz, and what happens? Cliff Kingsbury had the perfect play call on the screen to McLaurin that he took 59 yards to the house. You know, another time we dial up the pressure. Jaden Daniels just stood in there, took a shot, and delivered a strike to De'Ami Brown for 50 yards. You know,
Man,
it was
throw.
It was crazy. Like, that's what I'm saying. You got to tip your cap to the Commanders.
Right when that throw happened, I don't even know when that throw happened, but I seen that throw. I'm like, yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was just everything
But-
that could go wrong did.
I want to gloat a little. I have to. I'm sorry. But I legit, and this isn't a shot at you guys or anything. I could not believe the confidence that Lions fans had with the defense that you guys brought out there. I won't understand that. Like, I heard people say the only team we're going to lose to is possibly the Eagles, Chiefs, or Bills. Why? Like, I don't know, man.
I mean, so
what was there not to be confident about, though?
right.
Because your defense
We went
couldn't
15
stop
and
Axel
2.
Ford.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Regular season wise, before any playoff game happened,
Mm-hmm.
we went 15 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
We were a top 10 scoring defense in the league with 20 guys on IR. Okay. Like, that leads you to believe that the same kind of trend will continue against an
That's
opponent
not
that's
true.
not as talented as you. And that's
true.
no, bro, I feel like I gave Washington more respect than any Lions fan I saw leading up to the game. That's no disrespect to them. But we handled ourselves and contained what we had to all season. But when our offense falls apart the way it did and puts even more weight on our already bend don't break defense, we cracked. Your offense can't have a game like that. That's why it all comes down to these turnovers that we had. Our defense could have possibly held their own enough for us to win, but you can't give them points. You just can't do it.
I don't know how. I don't understand how you say that.
Moran,
When you guys gave up 31 at half. I don't get that.
Moran,
Why did we give up
24.
31 and a half, though? That's off a pick six
right.
and 2 other turnovers.
And on top
No,
of that,
the
Moran,
the third turnover was at the end of the half.
yeah, that was a big one. But Mito, you can't say what you're saying when you came on here last week and said I expect it
Bro,
to be
listen.
a blowout. I expect Teddy
Listen.
Bridgewater to be in the game. How bad you guys are going to beat them. So like,
Hey, he played.
I can't
I was
let you
right.
do that though, bro. Like you
But,
you
bro,
were just
listen.
you were
Yeah,
just
were
as
you not
confident
feeling
as
the same
all
way?
The Detroit fans,
Listen,
bro.
no, I'm not talking this game in a whole. I have literally said all year, you guys are not going to get anywhere near a Super Bowl because your defense is ass. I understand the top 10 scoring defense crap. Like, if you watch the Lions, which we did every week, you can see this defense is not good. They were never good. It's
That's
Like-
not true that they were never good, bro.
Okay.
You can't say that.
all right.
With a healthy McNeil and Hutch and Anzalone and Davis, I'm just going down the list of injured players. We're a much different defense versus
mean
having Maurice Norris and Al Qadim Muhammad. Like,
So you mean in week 2 against Tampa when Mike Evans had 140 at half?
oh,
that
the
defense?
the one game that we lost where they scored how much? What was it? Like,
That's a playoff team.
okay, great, and we won every other
20
game.
points.
All right, bro.
Like,
just-
our defense held their own all year. There was no look. We're not sitting here acting like we're the Bears or the 2001 Ravens or whatever, but our defense was good enough to win the Super
had-
Bowl with, just not on Saturday.
You had the worst defense. You had the worst defense in the playoffs to start the playoffs, and that's not close.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I think the team we played on Saturday had a worse defense than us. They're literally ranked
Sure,
30th
sure,
in
okay, sure.
in rushing.
Sure, I'll give you that. That's fine. Sure.
So the problem
But
is, like I said at the beginning, we blew it. Like the Lions choked. The Lions got outplayed. They got outcoached. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I think Cliff Kingsbury ran circles around Aaron Glenn on Saturday. I really do. There was no answer, zero. And on top of that, they had Jaden Daniels playing out of his mind. That kid is a problem, bro. Like
You
I
guys-
don't. It's crazy how good he is. I don't know what next year holds for him. I don't know if this is just some miraculous run, and next year we're going to see the C.J. Stroud
he
effect. But he's impressive.
I don't think C.J. Stroud even ever looked this good, and this composed.
We haven't even talked about one of the biggest plays of the game yet, but the 12 men on the field on 4th down when you need it. You need that stop. And Dan Campbell's name hasn't even been brought up, but you have 3 head coaches on your sideline, 3 of them, with one who just got hired today. We'll talk about his traitor ass in a second, and one in Aaron Glenn who's going to be hired soon. Not one of you thinks to call a timeout when there's 12 men on the field. Tom Brady's in the broadcast booth for 10 seconds. 12 guys, 12 guys, 12 guys. You can hear it. Like,
Yeah, 23. I think 23 seconds. Passed.
unbelievable. And you give them 1st and goal. Like, these
Unacceptable.
are coaching mistakes that we haven't seen. I can't remember the last time we've seen mistakes like this from our coaching staff. Where are our heads at?
You know what was kind of odd to me? You guys were getting demolished. Okay? I didn't see one coach get angry.
I can't speak to it. I didn't watch the broadcast.
No, even during the game, they didn't show. The only emotion they showed is when you guys stopped them out of the second half, or the first drive of the second half. Aaron Glenn got excited for a punt. When I seen Aaron Glenn get that excited that you guys made the other team punt, I knew you guys were dead.
Well, shoot, he knew it was probably the only time we were going to do that all day. Look,
yeah, that's how I knew you guys were dead.
Our coaching staff has had moments where, like, they've grabbed player by the face mask, right? Like, talked them down a little bit. Like, you think of J-Mo with his personal foul penalty, back to that whole moment. But, like, our coaching staff in general just doesn't, like, get all upset like that. But the look that I saw from Campbell, from everybody, was really just being dumbfounded. Like we literally got punched in the mouth and didn't know how to respond. For me, that's the most disappointing part of the whole loss, was that, like, we looked like we didn't belong. Like, that's why, for me, it's worse than the San Fran game last year. Because San Fran, you play that game 10 times, we probably win 6 out of 10, right? Like, that game probably goes our way most of the time. The way we came into Saturday against the Commanders of all teams, like, we looked like we had no business being there. And it was embarrassing. I was embarrassed about it. I truly was.
It was embarrassing. We were not prepared. That's what it looked like. And you're right. I mean, it didn't look like we belonged. And it begs the question. Obviously, the news came out today that Ben Johnson accepted the job. But it begs the question, did those interviews hurt the preparation to this game?
1,000%.
No.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't think they
1000%.
did. But the way that not even 2 days after the game, Ben Johnson's in Chicago, it makes me question where his head was, to be honest.
1,000%.
Look, it's human nature for us to try to find reasons of why things happen the way they do. I think it makes sense in our heads. Like, oh yeah, he just accepted the coaching job. The game was on Saturday. Maybe his head wasn't in the game, right?
I mean, he already. It was reported on Sunday that he's already building his staff.
Moran, he's been a favored head coaching candidate for 2 years.
Don't care.
He's been building his staff in his head for over 500 days now. That means
care.
nothing to me.
Don't care.
That didn't happen in the past week. Like, that didn't happen in the film room when we were planning for Washington.
There was commitments for his positions on his staff. So he spoke to people, meaning he was doing a Chicago job while he was on the job for Detroit. It means something.
It doesn't. First of all, we had a bye week, and coaches had time off to do whatever they wanted. And was it Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson who had all their interviews on the same day over Zoom? It's not like he's taking flights and going to Jacksonville and then Vegas and then back and forth. Like, I think people are so just overstating the amount of work that these interviews took away from the team planning process.
Okay, first of all, okay, and this is going to sound bad. Aaron Glenn going out of his way to do interviews, there's a reason for that, okay? He's been passed on head coaching opportunities several times. Ben Johnson is the guy, right? Ben Johnson could have told the team, hey, I want to have my first interview February 15th. That team would have been like, okay, no problem, Ben Johnson, whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to do that. Aaron Glenn had to take those interviews or he's not getting a job. Okay? So I'm good on defending Ben Johnson.
Bro, I'm not sitting here defending Ben Johnson. I think taking the job 2 days after you got your ass kicked is shameful, especially if it's a division rival.
When you're the number one candidate and you know everyone's waiting on you, his foot was out the door.
Yeah. He had that pull. You're right. He definitely has that pull and that track record to say, you can wait. I'll talk to you in February or whenever we're done.
Aaron Glenn doesn't have that. Yeah.
But I still don't think that impacted Ben Johnson and made it so he had a lesser game plan. I think he just called a terrible game.
So he had a lesser game plan.
No, I think he just messed up. I don't think that has anything to do with the interviews. No, you're saying that's because of the interviews. I just don't believe that. I don't think he took time away from game planning to do the interviews. It doesn't work that way, bro.
I think he did, because if you game planning and a guy's getting 10 yards of carry, you don't go away from it. But hey, who am I?
That's not why. We've seen that before when he's not taking interviews.
Facts. Yeah, it sucks that we had one of those games in the biggest game of the season, bro. Like, it sucks.
Here, just
It
another
sucks.
thing on these interviews, just to quote Jeremy Reisman, who we've had on the show before, great guy. Lions won 2 playoff games last year when Ben and Aaron had to do virtual interviews in the middle of a game week. Any impact of doing virtual interviews during a bye week when they didn't even have an opponent to prepare for was almost certainly negligible, end quote. That's from a Lions beat reporter, bro. Like, he knows what he's talking about.
I don't agree with that.
We were able to do it last year, and we beat the Rams and the
Correct.
Bucks.
And Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn weren't as sought out as they were this year.
Ben Johnson has
Ben
been
Johnson definitely was.
the number one coach the last two.
He
two
absolutely
hires,
was.
or hiring.
Yes.
Aaron Glenn, maybe
sessions.
But I don't think it matters, bro. I really don't. But
No.
I will say this.
And-
I don't think teams should be able to interview people while they're still in the playoffs. I think that's a garb rule that the NFL puts in place.
Yeah, so I think that happened. That changed. They used to not be able to, right? And then they found out that those candidates were losing out on opportunities. So
I think it had a lot to do with the Rooney Rule as well.
yes, but what I think the fix to that is to just no one is allowed to hire anyone until after the playoffs.
Right.
I don't care if you're out of the playoffs. I don't care if you're in the playoffs. Whatever. No conversations for any teams until the playoffs are done and concluded. And that's how
problem
you
with-
get rid of that problem.
The problem with that is I think the Senior Bowl is prior to the Super Bowl, isn't it?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I'm not 100% on that. But I know that does, yeah, the NFL scheduling and everything, because
But
it's tough. It is. But
I want to get back to Ryan and Jeremy Reisman's point. Ben Johnson already had it in his head last year during the interviews that he's not taking a job. So he didn't take them as serious. He didn't put in the effort.
Bro, he's still taking the time to do them. That's
Doesn't
what we're
matter.
arguing is taking the time from the game planning, right?
If I'm going to a job interview, I know I'm not accepting the job interview. I'm not prepping. I'm not showing my worth. I'm literally wasting my time.
Of course he's still prepping, bro. This is an NFL head coaching job interview.
If you know you're not going to take it and you know your worth's not going to change the next year,
I don't think that changes what we're talking about at all. I really don't. I think it's the same thing either way.
yeah, I don't know, man. I just listen, man. Just coming back full circle. What we witnessed Saturday night was embarrassing. It hurts as a Lions fan who just witnessed the best season in team history to look at you guys in this camera or speak to you on the airwaves, however you're listening, either on Spotify or watching on YouTube. It hurts for me to say that we choked. It hurts for me to say that 15-2 means absolutely nothing. But that's where we are. 15-2 meant absolutely nothing this year.
Jose.
And that hurts, bro.
Jose, to help you feel a little better. Do you know what other team went 15-2 and didn't win a playoff game?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, it was the Packers, and we lost to the Super Bowl champs that beat the best team ever.
Oh, does that make you feel better?
I mean, let's call it like it is.
No, we're not going to do that because you literally just gagive all
Hold on.
Michigan
Hold
fans
on.
shtick
Hold on.
about that.
Hold on.
You know the Lions won again. Another one.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna
We
go
heard
ahead
that
and
song
delete real
15
quick.
times, bro. We
Yeah,
heard that
thank
song
you.
15 times this year. That's
Twice
all
against
right.
you, by the way.
Facts. Undefeated.
I mean,
Six
hey.
times against NFC North.
I mean, garb ending to the year, bro. What else is there to say?
And to be fair, with the Packers and the 15 win team, Eli was a winner before. It's not like he was a rookie. It wasn't his first or second playoff game on the road. Like there was a lot of differences.
It doesn't. We're
Bro,
not going to
there's
sit here
no
and talk
difference.
about
You
the
fumbled
X's
the bag
and
just
O's
like
of
we
football.
did.
And
Stop
hold
that,
on,
bro.
hold on. The Giants had a top 3 defense as
Okay,
well.
stop.
So
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
if you want to get technical, that's
Stop.
fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Stop. You sound
Yeah.
pathetic. You guys blew a 15 win season just as like we did. Like stop.
fine.
What are you saying, bro? So, I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to add about the game before we move on to the Ben Johnson news?
Oh, I have one more thing about our fans. This is back to them being garb. What are you doing leaving a playoff game down 10 with 8 minutes left? The
Yeah, your fans are
stairs,
fair weather.
the stairs are packed with people leaving. The lower bowl seats, which we know cost like $800,000, $900,000, whatever. Like, this is the problem when tickets become this expensive, you guys, is that garb fans go, fair weather, whatever you want to call it, the rich folk who can afford it, and the diehards that would never even dream of leaving that game that early or would never turn their TV off at home are left not going to the game. And you have an embarrassing crowd on TV. I'm so disappointed in our fan base, bro. I truly am. Like, seeing that on TV made me sick. And I know I felt the same way they all did. We're getting our asses kicked. This doesn't feel good. I don't want to watch it right now. But like, I would never leave that game with 8 minutes left. You're down 10. You have a great offense. Things could change on a dime. I couldn't believe that, bro. I really couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I know. Like, I get it. I don't know. I've never been the guy. Like, I personally don't leave the games, but I've never been the guy to shame someone else for doing it. I don't know what their life is like, bro. I don't know.
Jose.
A lot of fans are coming from
Jose.
fucking across the state.
You hang on a
up
minute.
north.
Hang on. You paid $1,000 to go to a playoff game Saturday night. You know damn well you don't have anything to do Sunday morning, and if you do, what the hell are you doing at the game? So you're telling me if we were up 10 that those fans are leaving?
No, of course not. But
All right. So they're
I
leaving
don't-
because
but
we're
I
losing and they're
don't
guard.
care, but I don't care about that. Like, let them go, bro. I don't care. Like, that's their. I don't care.
We should
I don't
care, bro. You
I
should,
don't.
honestly. No, that's
As of January 18th, 2025, it's been 21,188 days of the Lions not playing in the Super Bowl. Just wanted to let you guys know that.
I'm glad that has all the correlation to what Ryan was just talking about.
yeah. We just derail it to make a stupid ass joke. All right, bro. Yeah, we've never played in the Super Bowl. But you know what? Let's talk about that for a second. The where do we go from here question that Mito hated when the Packers
I'm
lost.
not asking that. I'm good.
No, I'll answer it. That's fine. I'm not running away from that question like some people.
Mm-hmm.
I'll answer it. We're going to lose many coaches on the coaching staff, right? Let's just list them right now. Benedict Johnson is already gone. See you later. Aaron Glenn is gone, most likely. We have Terrell Williams, our D-line coach, is going to hook up with Mike Vrabel in New England, just like he was with Tennessee, right?
Yep.
Who else am I missing? Hank Fraley.
Hank Fraley.
Yep. Bossy O-line coach, best one in the league.
That's going to be your biggest loss of the three.
I don't disagree with you. He's probably going to Seattle to be their offensive coordinator. So Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are going to be tested probably more than any offseason that we've had so far. And not just finding the players to help your team, but more importantly, some would argue, finding coaches to help keep this thing going.
Does Salah come home?
I wish.
Let's save that. Let's save that because I do want to touch on the hiring first. We will give our predictions, but to answer the question, where do we go next? It in large part is going to depend on who we hire to replace those guys that are going to be leaving. Obviously, Terrell Williams and Hank Fraley, nothing's official yet, nor is Aaron Glenn, even though it's likely. But listen, I still believe all roads go through Detroit. So I just until it's proven otherwise, we're the best team in this division. Is it going to be harder next year? 100%. Are we going to win 15 games next year? Probably not. That's a hard thing to do. We've done it one time in franchise history. But we're the best team in this division. I stand on that. The players are still there. We still got MCDC. We still got Brad Holmes pulling the strings, drafting. Until it's proven otherwise, all roads lead through Detroit. Come get some.
I know you're right, but I feel really bad about missing two great opportunities the way we did. Being a half away from the Super Bowl last year, having home field throughout the playoffs this year, and starting your game against a rookie quarterback, and a bad defense. Like, we can't keep fumbling the bag the way we are. And
Why?
Campbell
You've been
said it.
doing You've been doing it for 80 years.
Campbell said it himself. Shut up. Campbell said it himself that after we lost to San Fran, we might not get back here. And he was right this year. We like it's a hard thing to do, bro. And
It
very
is.
few teams win the Super Bowl. Like KC and New England have run the last decade, or two. It's just I don't know, man. We can't survive many more of these, even with a great roster and a great team.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I'd rather I like where we're at. I haven't felt this way as a Lions fan, right? Where we are built to sustain success. Where that takes us, it remains to be seen. But we're not like the whole team isn't falling, crumbling around us. All our core players are under contract, with more up for contract. We missed Aiden Hutchinson for 2/3 of this year. We lost Aleem McNeil for the playoff stretch. Like we lost Carlton Davis for the playoff stretch. Is he going to be back? I don't know. That's going to be an off-season discussion that I'm sure us as well as a lot of other people are going to have. But our core pieces, our foundation is here. It's up to Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes to retool and make another run next year. But until we're proven otherwise, we are the best team in this division. Facts.
That was a cute pep talk. I appreciate that for you guys.
That's not a pep talk. That's factual. Back-to-back
That's
division
fine.
champs. It's right there on my wall. I got
See
that
the
today.
differ-
Shout out to Pro Sports Zone in Livonia.
See, the difference between you and I, Ryan, is I would never put something like that on my wall.
Why?
Because that's not anything special to me. We've done that more than any team in the division, so I don't care about
That's
that.
fine.
Just letting you know. That's when I say there's
fine.
levels, and we'll just keep it there. But
Bro,
I did
you
want to
like
say
key lime pie and I don't. What's special to you
Oh,
might
key
not
lime.
be special to me.
key lime pie is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it's actually not, but I'm glad you like it because it sounds cool.
But Aaron Glenn just landed back in Detroit. There's an offer on the table. It's his if he wants it, the report. And the other report is...
Wait, is this
he's
breaking
taken-
news?
Correct. And he's taking Mark Brunell with him if you guys don't make him the OC.
Oh man, that's another coach we hadn't talked about who's getting a lot of love for, helping
you
fix
guys-
Jared Goff, quote unquote.
You guys better make him the OC or he's leaving.
So you know what? Let's just jump into it, right? Because we're that's where we're headed anyway. So we'll start with Aaron Glenn since you just brought him up. I think Aaron Glenn did the right thing by not letting the Jets strong arm him into taking the contract. I think it's a very stupid thing to not at least go hear what New Orleans has to say, even though I believe the Jets, while they have a garb owner and are a dumpster fire just like the Saints are, they have a better situation than the New Orleans Saints, but he should still go talk to them. I do think he did the right thing there. I believe it's obviously going to be between those two teams. Which one he takes, I don't know. But I don't know, man. Listen, as far as Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, we lose one, we lose both. I don't really know how I feel about what's the word I'm looking for? Promoting from within for both positions. I really don't. I don't think I want to I don't want two first-year coordinators going into next year.
100%.
Like you asked me what was next for us. That if we go into next year with two first-year coordinators, I'll be a little bit concerned.
But you guys hit a home run doing that with the two that are leaving.
That
Correct.
was a very different situation, though. We were 3-13-1. We were coming off a bad year. There was a rebuild year, and let's not forget that Anthony Lynn was the original offensive coordinator, who then was fired, and then we replaced him with Ben Johnson in year 2. So when Ben Johnson became the offensive coordinator, that was year 2 of Aaron Glenn. So
No, I mean, I don't disagree with Mito. Like, if you can do it once, you can do it again.
Especially at that point with lesser talent. I think Campbell already proved that he pulled the right trigger on those because I'm sure that was his decision. I don't agree with that at all. I get where you're coming from because you have the players there that you already know it's successful. So coming in with a new, fresh coordinator that's probably going to try to do too much could hurt. But I I mean, you guys already proved it one time already. I don't agree with that.
So this is my thing though, okay? So do we this is a very popular name in the organization or with the Lions beat writers around the Lions, fans and whatever, is Kelvin Shepherd, for example. The linebackers coach, he's the favorite to be promoted to DC if Aaron Glenn leaves. You guys mentioned a name earlier, Robert Saleh, a proven defensive coordinator.
That's different.
But that's what I'm trying to say. To just promote Kelvin Shepherd and not do our due diligence would be not absolutely a good thing for me. And Robert Saleh is like my number one pick. It makes all the sense in the world. Does Robert Saleh want to come here? I don't know. Does Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes want him here? I don't know. But as a fan of the team, I would love Robert Saleh here.
But
what he does,
like
his defensive style would be amazing, and amazing fit here.
Sorry to cut you off, Jose. Here's what I think is going to happen. On defense, you can afford to bring in, I believe, whoever you want. You don't have to promote from within. Maybe it is Kelvin Shepherd. Maybe it's Robert Saleh. Who knows? On offense, I don't think there's any chance we go outside of the organization because you have Jared Goff locked up in a contract who thrived under Ben Johnson. So are you going to go a completely different direction and just hope Goff follows suit? If I'm Dan Campbell, absolutely not. I need to do everything I can if I'm Dan Campbell to encapsulate Goff with whoever most resembles Ben Johnson and who worked with Ben Johnson so that he can continue to be successful. And the popular name on offense for that is Tanner Engstrand, is our passing game coordinator, who had a lot of buzz last year because everybody thought Ben Johnson was leaving then. He could have been our OC this year. So that's what I believe is going to happen with OC. And honestly, bro, we win or lose with Goff no matter what now. We're locked in. We signed him, right? You're not going a different direction. And if you do, man, you better hope that Goff keeps it up. Because if he goes back to Anthony Lynn, Jared Goff, we're all in big, big trouble.
So, with what you're saying about Ben Johnson and Tanner Engstrand, and he very well may be promoted. I know he's the popular name, but while Ben Johnson gets all the credit for the offense, and I really think for the play design, he's really bright while he was here, but Dan Campbell needs to get credit for this offense. That is his offense. It's his offense that we're running. Dan Campbell, believe it or not, I know everyone just has chewing tobacco and bites kneecaps. No, he's the brain of the offense. It's his offense that Ben Johnson took and coached and designed and did everything else. So while I understand what you're saying about going a different direction, it won't, because Dan Campbell's still here to call that offense. And he said he's going to have his hands heavy in it. It was one of the things he addressed at his press conference. He will be heavily involved in the offense and with whatever new coach comes in. And he's going to take Jared Goff, and ask him what he wants and take his opinions and note them. And he'll take it under consideration heavily is what he said, right? But I just want to, pump the brakes if we do decide to hire from outside and think it's, it's a whole different direction. It's not, because Dan Campbell's still here calling that offense.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think it just depends on how much hand he wants to have in it. Like he did say in that press conference that you mentioned that he's an offensive guy and he will continue to be involved, but to what degree is my question. And honestly, I don't know how much he was involved with Ben Johnson. Of course, he's still involved and it's his offense, but Ben Johnson gets a whole lot of credit for it. So is it 80-20 in Ben Johnson's favor? I mean, we'll really never know. But that, I think, just solidifies that on defense, we're going a different direction. I mean, because putting all your eggs on the Kelvin Shepherd first-time basket makes me as a fan nervous. But Campbell knows better than I do.
Pay attention to the name of Tony Franklin for your OC.
Who's that?
Jared
What did
Goff.
Google just tell you?
Honestly, do you care to shed some light, my boy, or what?
I just confirmed it with Google, but me and my friend were talking about it at work earlier. It's Jared Goff's QB coach in California. He's the OC currently for Louisiana Tech. And if you got that much invested in Jared Goff, why not ask him? Why wouldn't he mention Tony Franklin? We'll see.
All right.
I'd rather not.
I'd rather not.
But whatever,
That's
you know.
fine.
We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
And promoting within with Calvin Shepard, your worst positional group on your defense would be laughable. So with Jose, I agree with him on that. If they take him over Robert Saleh because Robert Saleh wanted to come here, which we don't know, but if that's the case, that would be very funny.
Well, I don't think the worst positional group thing is totally fair. I mean, Derek
Sorry.
Barnes out for the year, Malcolm Rodriguez out for the year, Anzalone
make
hurt
guys
for
better.
6 weeks.
Gotta make guys better.
I mean, he made Jack Campbell better. Jack Campbell beasted it this year. He made Malcolm Rodriguez was a 6th round pick. He made him better.
Okay.
Alex Anzalone improved when he got here. Like, bro, Calvin Shepard's done a fantastic job. I'm not taking anything away from that guy. Derek Barnes has also improved since he started. Like, these were good linebackers, bro. They just got hurt.
Yeah, it remains to be seen. My wish for defensive coordinator is Robert Saleh.
I don't think he'll
hope
ever
so.
come here.
I don't think so either, but maybe he will. We'll never know. I will.
It's just
We're
the
gonna find
Faggy
out.
thing. And
He just had to grow up in Darrowborn.
I went to school with you thing. I wouldn't want to deal with it.
We'll see. I think he's the perfect fit.
Seems like a Dan Campbell type dude, bro.
I think
That's
he's.
if he doesn't get the job in Jacksonville.
I know.
Could be
Yeah,
the
they
head coach.
requested him for a formal. Yeah, he's.
There's
flying down
no
there.
way he becomes a head coach.
Why?
There's no way.
Why not?
Hey, don't forget Shahid Khan's Muslim. So
Oh, yeah. You think that plays a factor? Is it Rooney
yeah.
rule for Saleh if he gets hired?
Yeah.
He's a minority. He's a minority candidate. Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, he changed his name to Robert, but yeah.
So whatever.
That's a nice thing about AG being hired, by the way. 2 third-round picks. Thank you.
Yeah, that's huge. One this year, one next year.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's touch on Benedict Johnson. It's no secret, man. This guy, 48 hours later, is introduced as the Chicago Bears head coach.
What did you guys want him to do?
Listen, bro, that's the one place he couldn't go for me. I don't care. Like, I don't care. People are gonna be like, "Oh, you left for a better opportunity," and "Oh, so you wouldn't leave your company to go to a competitor." I don't care. I don't care. I feel I'm entitled
So
to
you're
my
being
feelings
petty.
and my opinion. That's the one place he couldn't go.
So you're being petty cancel right now.
Bro, I don't know what you can call it what you want. You can't go to the Bears. Like, you just can't. That's how I feel about it.
Mito, hang on.
Bro,
We turned the ball over 5 times on Saturday, and we're sitting here on Tuesday watching videos of Ben Johnson saying "bear down." I'm good, bro.
I mean,
I'm good.
Did it happen too quick? Sure, but if it happened a week later, you guys are gonna feel just as hurt.
You know what? In a week from now, I may feel a little bit different. But no, Ryan's 100% right. Like, we just played the worst game. And I can't tell you how long. And he's looking. Then I got to go on X, and I'm looking at him, bear down. I wanted to, bro.
Hey, that video is super cringe, by the way.
Bro, come on, man. The guy doesn't even look the same. Someone else said that. Like, he looks different. Like, he doesn't even look like Ben Johnson. Like, bro, it's crazy how Chicago does things to people. It's weird.
And he's over there cracking funny jokes. I laughed at his joke when he said, "Everybody get back to work." That shit was hilarious.
that's like-
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
literally-
because that's your kind of joke, guy.
That's
it is
literally
funny.
the most said joke ever. Like, it's not creative.
It was really funny. His comedic timing was great, and I hate that I laughed.
Also, it looked like a movie scene. Like, why were you guys standing in a hallway? Like, that room, the Hallis room? Okay, cool. Do they have bathrooms? Cool.
But you know what, though? It happening so quickly is what's making everybody think that it had an impact on Saturday. Because you clearly had a freaking suitcase packed and ready to go, bro. Your whole family was ready. Your whole family was with you. Like,
Oh, yeah. He said it.
can
I mean,
you
he
let the
said
dust
it.
settle a little bit?
He was like, this is exactly where we wanted to be. Like, bro, it's just tough,
Yeah,
bro.
no,
It's tough.
Yeah, he's officially the enemy now. Like, thanks for everything you did. We loved you when you were here, but you're gonna go to the Bears 4 days later. Okay, have fun.
Oh, yeah. No, it's, hey, thank you, but no thank you. Don't let the door hit you on your way out.
Right. No, say it right. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Get the hell out of here. We'll see you later.
Hey, 2 times a year. Hope you're ready for it.
Yeah, free 2 wins. Oh, I can't wait. Man, I
Two
hate the
times a
Bears.
year. No, I can't stand them. And now I got to hear Bears fans. Like, we already were dealing with the Packers fans and the Vikings fan, which is fine. But now I got to hear Bears fans. And not only do I got to hear it, now the Packers got to hear it. Now the Vikings got to hear it. Like, where are you guys
know.
coming from?
Jose, Miro said it last week. The Bears are off-season champs every year.
This is like the 9th championship. They've already won the offseason. It hasn't even started.
Bro, I hate that team so much. And we've talked about Caleb Williams a lot on this show. And I think we all have a kind of a level of respect for him, right? Like, we think he has talent. And I think that Ben Johnson can get the best out of him. But man, I don't know. Like, do I see him being a good head coach? I really don't know. I don't know if he's.
I'm telling you.
I don't know.
I'm telling you guys right now. Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson will be coordinators in 3 years.
Bro, I think Aaron Glenn might be a better head coach than Ben Johnson will be. I think Ben Johnson's got the coordinator part down, but I see
think
Aaron Glenn having the personality for a head coach more than I see Ben Johnson.
I think Aaron Glenn can be one and done.
1 year?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. No, no matter how bad this year is, he'll never be one and done. They put way too much stock into him.
I agree with you. I agree with that. There's no way, because if he goes to New Orleans or the Jets, there's just no chance. Unless they go like 0-17.
Bro, Eberflus got 4 years. You're gonna fire Ben Johnson after one?
That's
because
Chicago.
not. I didn't say Ben Johnson. I said Aaron Glenn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
Aaron Glenn.
that I might agree with actually, because
Yeah.
especially if it goes to the Jets, it's dumpster fire.
Yeah, but you think they're just going to get rid of him after 1 year? After today, the reports are coming out that they don't want him to leave the building. Zero chance. No chance at all.
Every time you go hire a coach, you don't want him to leave a building.
No,
That's the
no,
cute thing to say. They say it every offseason.
I'm not buying that.
Jose's
Not
right. The
buying
Jets
his
never
one
do
and
anything stupid.
done. I just don't. I don't see that. But yeah, man, Ben Johnson, bro. I just could have let the dust settle a little bit, bro. It sucks. Like, look, happy for him and the opportunity, but he went to the Bears. You're dead to me, bro. Thanks
Yeah.
for the memories.
What memories? Not hitting off the ball when you're up 17?
Honestly,
Screw
hey,
'em.
listen. Honestly, like, you know what? Since we're being petty, let's be petty. Like, Chicago, I hope you watched our downfall. And that's what you're going to get. And I tell you what, your offensive line ain't good as ours. DeAndre Swift ain't as good as ours. We've seen DeAndre Swift with Ben Johnson. How'd that work out?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Keenan,
Is he going to be the head coach that calls plays too, like LaFleur? You think?
Oh,
he has
for
to be,
sure.
right?
100%.
100%.
100%.
Man, I hope he just fails so hard, bro. I know we're being petty right now, but I really hope he just falls on his face.
Me too.
4 days, bro.
No, it's tough. To the
Imagine
Bears,
being with a lovely girl that you were together with for 4 years and that brought you up and made you a better man, and then it's over, and then 4 days later you're waltzing down the street with another girl on your arm.
not
that's
just
the way
another
it
girl
feels.
with her cousin.
Yeah, they're like your
Yeah,
best friend.
It's literally like the widow that gets married to the sister in 3 months.
Literally. Crazy,
Man,
man.
what a
So-
dirtbag.
All right, so listen, I know we touched on it for Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. Let's just put a stamp on it. I'm going Robert Saleh for DC, and for OC, I think Tanner Engstrang would be my pick. What about you, Ryan?
I think it's gonna be in house, man. I think it's
Both-
gonna be
both
Calvin
positions?
Shepard and Engstrand.
Interesting. Mito, you got a dark horse? I know you don't really care, but
Tony Franklin.
for OC, and what about DC? You going Robert Saleh? You got another name?
No, actually, for OC, truthfully, I think Tony Franklin would be like a shot in the dark. But I think the guy that's not being talked about enough is Antoine Randall. I can see that happening.
The players
Another guy
love him.
who's not being talked about in addition to that is Scotty Montgomery, our running backs coach, who's been awesome, who's our assistant head coach right now too. He could very well
See,
be
the
our
problem,
OC.
the problem with this, and this is a good and bad thing, you have a lot of good positional coaches that if you don't promote within the right one, you can lose all four, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? And something that I haven't heard about, and quite frankly, now that the news came out that obviously Hank Fraley's interviewing in person in Seattle, he's rumored to be connected to Ben Johnson. Any chance that maybe he's the dark horse in the offensive coordinator? Maybe
No.
they don't want to lose him. I know Frank Ragnow came out on locker room cleanout day and said he can't imagine playing without Hank Fraley. It's the only offensive line coach he's ever known.
There's no chance they make him the OC.
You don't think so?
No.
I think
Because that
yeah, I
because
think we'd
then
feel
what
better if it was
happens?
Engstrand.
Because then what happens if you guys bring an offensive line coach in? He's gonna step on his toes, tell him you're doing this wrong. Your O line gets a little worse. It's just
I don't like that
Just
point though. That's going to happen with any hiring
Correct.
within we do.
Correct.
No. I'm talking about Fraley because your offensive line was so good with him. He becomes the OC. You hire another OL coach or offensive line coach. He's not doing so well. Fraley starts coming at him. Hey, look what I did last year. Blah 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 blah. It's a mess.
No, I don't think so. The positional coaches answered to the OC and DC, so I don't think that would be an issue. We'll
you
see.
don't want a guy
Man.
named Hank.
I don't know, man. Hey, a lot of people are very high on Hank. Seattle obviously is. The players love him here. We're gonna see, man. It's gonna be very interesting. The purge is happening of the Detroit Lions staff. I'm just hoping the bleeding stops soon, man, because obviously Ben Johnson's gone. Which whatever. Maybe it was time for a fresh start. Maybe it wasn't. Who knows? But he's gone. There's nothing that we can do about it. He's in Chicago. See you 2 times a year. AG sounds like he's gone. Hank Fraley, it sounds like he's gone unless he's promoted. And then obviously Terrell Williams is rumored to be gone as well. Mark Brunell's rumored to be gone. It's a lot of moving parts right now, so we'll see what happens. But Mito, I know that just to kind of shift gears to the Packers a little bit. You guys brought in some defensive line coaches for interviews today. You want to talk about those guys real quick?
Yeah. Casey Rogers should not be leaving the building. He's the Bucs defensive line coach. The Bucs have had a top 5 run defense for the last
Ever.
7 years. Yeah, ever.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good. They're really
Obviously, Vita Vea is a big deal,
good, for sure.
but I mean, we had a good run defense without Casey Rogers this year, so I can only imagine what he could bring to us. And probably the weirdest name in sports, Aaron Whitecotton, Jets D line coach. We know what the Jets D line does. And Eric Washington, the Bears DC. The Bears have had a good defense even with all their mishaps. So I like all 3. I bring in Casey Rogers. I would love to have him. Our defensive line was a problem this year, even though Gary was one of the best run stoppers in football, which is crazy to think because he had a weird year. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so it sounds like of the 3, Casey Rogers would be your choice.
100%.
I think I'd agree with that too. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm invested in these guys and have done my research, but just listening to their credentials and what teams they're coming from, yeah, the Bucs defensive line pretty much speaks for itself. They've been good for a long time. They developed players there, obviously Vita Vea, Kalijah Cansey. Man, they got the other guy with the crazy name that I can't remember right now, but they're really good, man. They've been good, and I remember they give the Lions fits. It's hard to run on them. So yeah, I think that of the 3 names, he'd probably be at the top of my list as well.
I would do Aaron Whitecotton.
Just for the
You
name,
just like his name.
I just like his name.
fits in Green Bay. I'll tell you that.
For real.
Yeah, man. Oh, boys, the season is a wrap, man. It's in the books. That's crazy.
Can I say something?
Yeah, man.
I don't know if I said this, but I think Jared puts the off in golf.
Bro, I want to hit Moran so bad right now. So
I've never wanted to hit somebody through the
5
screen.
it's crazy to think that 5 days ago we're sitting here talking about a potential playoff / Super Bowl run. All our coaches are here. We got all our guys. And now we're sitting here talking about head coach, pieces leaving and what's next year going to look like in golf and turnovers and despair. It's just,
I told you, slow your roll. I've been saying that all year.
You're barking up the wrong tree, Mito. I'm not the one, bro. It's not me.
What are you trying to scare me?
No, I'm
don't
not trying to
care.
scare you. I'm just saying that I wasn't getting ahead of myself at all.
I mean, you kind of were.
Our fans are getting too cocky, bro. They really were.
It's okay, bro.
Yeah, there was a lot of humble pie served on Saturday, bud. There was a lot of that, and it sucked. I'll tell you what though, and I said this to you guys in the chat on Sunday, but watching Matthew Stafford lose after everyone, the running joke, the running theme was, man, the Lions are just one Matthew Stafford away from making a Super Bowl run, and then
That's
he
true.
goes out to lose the next
not
day
true.
was just.
Yeah,
He also didn't play
amazing.
well against Philly, so it's not true.
Oh,
I mean,
He
outside
had
of the
his
last
Matthew
drive.
Stafford games like he always
Legit.
does.
Legit.
Can we do one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Since I did this last week, I'm sorry. Ryan, can you go ahead and give your final thoughts on the Lions?
Oh man, I have nothing prepared. Tough ending to what was one of the best football years of my life. We saw the highs, we saw the lows, and boy were the lows low. I am depression. Full stop. Get that violin out of here.
Jose, would you like to say something?
Yeah. It was a great
Please
year.
speak into the mic. I can't hear you.
It was a great year. It was a great year. And a big letdown. The 15-2 Detroit Lions bounced out in the first round or second round of the playoffs. First round bye meant nothing. It was all for naught. RIP to the Detroit Lions. All right. I'm glad that you just dropped that on us. I really didn't want to do a eulogy, but RIP, man. RIP to the Detroit Lions. We'll see you next year. I gave it to the Packers last week. I got to do it to myself this week. RIP. We're gone.
Yeah.
It's out.
But you know what? With that, and I know we're wrapping up, I'm going to take on the identity of our head coach. We had our time to be upset about it. We're pissed at ourselves. We're disappointed, all this stuff. Next year starts now. Let's go. Great roster. Like Jose said, our core is still here. We have great coaches. We have one of the best GMs in football, I'll say. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? The offseason starts now.
Yeah,
it is what
whatever.
it is.
It is what it is.
You know what? The slogan this year for the Detroit Lions was "It takes more," and I don't think that has ever rang more true. It takes more. Like what happened this year, 15-2, doesn't matter. I said that before. I'll say it again. It does not matter.
And now we
I
have
don't
good
care.
reason for the Jared Goff chant to die. It already needed to
Please.
die. It was so
Yeah.
played out. I'm so tired of hearing it on TV, watching every Pistons game. Like, it's enough. We get it, And when he plays like that, honestly, I don't want to hear it anymore. I just don't. I'm good.
So they switched it. So the slogan of the year was "It takes more," and when the playoffs came around, they switched it to "We want more." And yeah, that didn't work out because we're still wanting more.
Yeah, I do want more. I want more Gibbs, honestly. Give him the ball.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
But you guys want to welcome Montgomery back with open arms.
Monty is always welcome. Just give Gibbs the ball.
Yeah, I think we've seen the shift, and I think that it going into next year, and you know what, David Montgomery mentioned this, where it's Jahmyr Gibbs' show, and I think the NFL fans saw that. I think the Detroit Lions fans saw that, and I think it's time for the Detroit Lions coaching staff, whoever takes the place as offensive coordinator, needs to see that. Jahmyr Gibbs is the feature back of this offense. He's one of the featured backs in the NFL. Let's give him his respect, and let's treat him as such. And I think that's where I'll leave you guys.
Heard.
So, hey, listen, we're going to wrap it. Appreciate you guys for listening to the podcast. Appreciate you guys for watching on YouTube if you're doing so. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment below. Let us know what you thought of the Lions season, what you guys expect to happen within the coaching ranks, and what are your expectations for next year? Be sure to download and follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And just thank you for checking in and sticking with us, man. We'll be recording throughout the off season. We'll be as consistent as we can. We've been uploading to YouTube as much as possible. We do have, full-time jobs and little kids and all that good stuff, so bear with us. But we appreciate you guys for sticking with us throughout the season, man. It's been fun, and we can't wait to keep this thing going.
I would say I apologize for everything I said on this podcast today, but I would be lying. So I appreciate you guys listening as well. Next year starts a new year. Maybe you guys will play in a Super Bowl, but let us know what you guys thought about the episode.
Maybe you guys will win the division, or maybe not. As always, may your Kool-Aid stay blue and your head stay cheesy. Take care.
Peace.